I know you just now joining us. Sorry for the technical difficulties. It just would not let me be great. So we're going to give about 5 more minutes to get set up to make sure everybody that's on the other pages are logged in accordingly. So if you're out there, please share this post on your social media platforms and Facebook. We are live in direct with DrUmarJohnson. Again, I want to thank everybody for joining us and being patient as we get this situated and get things going. So give us about 2 seconds to make sure that everybody is chiming in and everybody is live. So if you're in the comments, if you could just please say hello, say, you're on here, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Do you find this anywhere? Any of my pages? No. This is uncut and raw at this point in the game. Look on all my pages on the Friends of Nicole page, 50/50, my home. You guys see this at. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and get started, Dr. Umar. Thank you so much for joining us.
I will be at the Rooftop Grill, 414 Oak Street, from 2 until 8 p.m. to release my new book, Black Parent Advocate, The Art of War for Dealing with America's Public and Charter Schools, which is a reference manual for Black parents in this country that teaches them how to effectively respond to the school so they can properly protect and advocate for their children.
Awesome. So the Black Advocate Parent Handbook is what
Black
it's called.
Parent Advocate.
Black Parent Advocate. Okay,
DPA.
Black Parent Advocate.
Yes, ma'am.
And so in this book, Dr. Umar, if you could just tell us what's in that for parents. What are they going to find in this book?
Well, there's 2 parts. The book is broken down into 2 parts. The first part is a collection of letters. Letters are very important because our parents need to know how to respond to the school effectively, non-emotionally, procedurally, and legally. So if the school says your child cannot come back unless you put them on medication, how do you respond to that? If the school says your 3rd grader is 2 grade levels behind and we want to test him for special education, how do you respond to that? If the school says we're going to hold your child back because of behavior, how do you respond to that? So part 1 is about teaching parents how to respond. I give them sample letters that they can recreate, and I also give them some background history on that particular problem as well. And part 2 is a review of the most common documents that parents will see when they go into the school. So I teach them how to review the psychological evaluation, how to review the IEP, how to review the behavior plan, how to review the pre-referral academic or behavior intervention plan. So part 1 is how you respond to the school, and part 2 is how to understand the documents that the school give to you.
Okay. So for parents who have children who have been diagnosed with ADHD and things of that nature, what is like step 1? I know it's in the book, and I know we're trying to get people to purchase the book, which is going to be available on Wednesday during the book signing. But what is like the first step? What do you think? Because I know the prison pipeline is very prominent in our community.
Yes.
So what would you tell a parent that has a child that's in elementary school that is... Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, Facebook, please be nice to me. Look, after this. Look, please be nice to me after this. This is just this world that we're in, this live world. And so...
It happens.
Sometimes...
We've been through worse.
Yes, we have had worse. So we were talking about the prison pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about parents whose kids are getting evaluated as early as elementary school.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know you're on here and you have this document for parents to use as a reference, as a resource.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell us, like, what do you think the system, how early do you think the system starts for the prison pipeline for our boys?
It starts from birth, to be honest with you. And I would say that it officially begins the minute they set foot in a school, whether that is a preschool or whether that is a grade school. Now, your question was, what is the first thing that I say to parents? Well, the first thing that I say to parents is in the form of a question. And my first question to parents of Black children who have been diagnosed with ADHD or conduct disorder or oppositional defiant disorder, my first question is always why? Why did you let them evaluate your 3-year-old? Why did you let them evaluate your 5-year-old? Why did you let them evaluate your 7-year-old? And the reason I asked them that is because although you can legally evaluate a child that young, it's not a good idea to do that. And the reason it's not a good idea to do that is because, number one, the only solution that America has for disruptive behavior is medication. That's the only solution. There's nothing else they're going to give a black mother or father who gets their child diagnosed with ADHD or conduct disorder or ODD. All they're going to get is Ritalin, Adderall, Concerta, Metadate, Cyclert. They're going to get crack for kids, kitty crack. That's all you're going to get is some dope. So if you don't believe in drugging your children, why would you get them evaluated for these? Number two, the criteria for ADHD is normal black boy behavior. It is normal for a boy to not be able to sit still all the time. It is normal for a boy to be hyperactive. It is normal for a boy to blurt out answers. It is normal for a boy to have a high level of energy. When you look at the criteria for ADHD, all it's describing is a natural, healthy black boy. What they have done, sis, they have pathologized black masculinity to the point. They have pathologized black masculinity to the point that any black boy who appears to be manly, any black boy who appears to be manly will be considered disordered. You have to put this in context of a school system that is dominated by women. And not only women, white racist women. So you have to understand who is asking parents to get these boys tested. White female teachers. Who is taking the boy to the doctor to get tested? Black female mothers. So you have the white female teacher and the black female mother who are collaborating in the worst psychological holocaust that we've seen in American history on school-age children.
Wow.
The difference, though, the difference is the teacher knows what she's doing. She knows what the black mothers don't know. The black mothers aren't doing this on purpose. They don't know that you can't prove ADHD. ADHD is an opinion. It's not a scientific fact. It's an opinion. You get the drug, soon when you say my son is hyper, they're going to write the prescription. Soon when you say my child can't sit still, they're going to write the prescription. Isn't it interesting that ADHD, which is an externalizing behavior, that means you can see it. You can see the hyperactivity. You can see the inattention. How many times do you think the psychologist goes to the school to evaluate the child to see if they're really hyper? How often does the evaluating psychologist go and observe the child in the class? Remember, it's an externalizing behavior. You have to see it. But these psychologists never go to the school and observe the child. So the diagnosis is being made exclusively on the complaints of the white female teacher and the black female mother.
So with that, do you think that they're marketing mental health?
Yes.
As far as for our boys?
Yes, it's a $30 billion industry. Psychiatric medication, $30 billion a year. And the drug companies are so powerful that they lobby Congress. They're so powerful that they donate to the American Psychiatric Association. They donate to the American Psychological Association. They donate to all the educational associations. They finance the teacher unions, their conferences. They use their money to invade the school. And then they convince teachers. They are at the teacher training conferences and they convince teachers. You should tell the psychologist who will tell the parent to go get the child evaluated. Now, here's the one thing I want to say, and I'm going to be quiet for your next question. ADHD is a mental disorder. It is not a special education disability. I want you to understand this right here. You have school psychology and you have clinical psychology, right? I'm trained in both. I'm a doctor of clinical and I'm a certified school psychologist. So I go between both worlds, right?
Okay.
In the school, I cannot diagnose ADHD. No school psychologist can evaluate a child for ADHD in the school because it is not a special ed disability. ADHD is mental illness.
Okay.
You get evaluated outside the school at the clinic or the hospital. You follow me?
Yes.
So every child in special ed for ADHD is only there because their mother or father listened to the school, took the child to the clinic, took the child to the hospital, got them diagnosed, and then took the paperwork back to the school. If you never took, they can't make you. They cannot make you get your child tested for ADHD. They have no control. The school has no control over whether your child gets evaluated for ADHD. You decided to do that. You took your child of your own free will to the clinician. And then after they diagnosed your child, you took the evaluation report back to the school. So the parent messes up twice. You mess up by you mess up first by listening to the school. You mess up second by taking your child to get tested outside the school. And you mess up third by bringing the report back to the school.
All right. Okay. Look, that makes a lot of sense.
In other words, if you just say no, you end the epidemic. Just say no. I'm not testing my child for ADHD. I'm not giving him no drugs. Okay? And if he has a behavior problem, let's sit down and talk about what strategies and interventions we can give my child. You understand? Now, if the child is in special ed, you can do even more. Because in special ed, they cannot be suspended more than 10 days the whole year. I don't know if y'all know this. A special ed child in the United States of America cannot be suspended more than 10 days total. Total. From September to June, you got 10 days.
Wow.
Are you following me? You only got 10. If you want to go beyond that 10, the IEP team has to come back together and approve the additional days of suspension. Most black parents in Louisville whose children are in special ed don't even know that they can't be suspended more than 10 days because they don't know the law. School law, they don't know it. And that's why I wrote the book.
So I know that you're putting a school together, correct?
Yes, the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey Academy, an elementary school, which is the Honorable Marcus Garvey School, and a high school, which is the Honorable Frederick Douglass School. And we're working on the Garvey School right now. We're renovating the school. Basically, what that means is we had to get the electric repaired, the HVAC repaired, the plumbing repaired. The school is in excellent physical shape. So we want the electric, plumbing, and the HVAC. The heart, the kidney, and the lungs. And once the heart, the kidney, and the lungs are good, all we got to do is paint the school up and open it on up. So I'm hoping that the Garvey Elementary School will be ready to go by the end of the summer because I want to have a grand opening, first annual, unapologetically African Family First festival and conference to serve as the grand opening event, and then we'll start school next summer. God willing, if all goes well, that's what will happen, and we're still on a timeline to meet that deadline.
Well, we're definitely going to speak positive energy over you so that it will be open so we can get an invitation.
Absolutely.
To come. All right. So can you explain to us the difference between like a charter school versus like a private school in which you're forming?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm a former charter school principal, and I'm also a former charter school vice principal. Okay. So you basically have 5 types of schools: public, charter, parochial, independent, and private. Public, charter, parochial, independent, and private. A public school is owned by the state. All education is the prerogative of the state. Okay? Education is a state right. You do not have a constitutional right to learn. You have a state right to learn. So education is a state right. Okay? It is a public function, and it is a local interest. So public school is totally controlled by the state. Okay?
Okay.
Charter school is also controlled by the state. A charter school is an alternative public school. And I need your parents to understand this. I'm going to say it again. The charter school is a public school. It is a public charter school. The difference between a traditional public school and a charter school is that the charter school was formed by stakeholders in the community who believe they can do a better job than the public school educating those children. And because they believe they can do a better job than the traditional public school educating those children, the state gives them some freedoms to create the curriculum, some freedoms to design the school how they want it to be, some freedoms to control the culture and the process. But because it is still a public school, they must follow all the public school laws. They must have special education. They must file all the reports. They have the same obligations as a public school. They're just given some liberties to tailor the school the way they want it to be. With the agreement that if the state does not see your charter school performing as you promised it would, if the state of Kentucky does not see your charter school doing as well as you promised or doing as well as the other public schools in the neighborhood, they will take your charter back. The charter is an agreement between the stakeholders who founded the charter school and the state. And if you don't keep your promise, if these children don't learn, if the test scores don't go up, we will take your charter back. Do you follow me?
Wow, yes.
So those are your 2 public schools. Then you have parochial. The parochial school is a religious or spiritual-based institution. And they have the most freedom of all schools. Almost in every state, the religious schools, the Catholic schools, the Muslim schools, they can do whatever they want. The Jewish schools, religious schools have the most freedom of all schools. Okay? That's why you never see nobody messing with the religious schools. So then you have your private school and your independent. The private school and the independent are pretty much the same. They do not receive public money. They do not receive public money, and they are not religiously controlled. But the difference is with an independent school, that is community oriented. That is grassroots. They don't get funding from the public source. They don't get funding from the private source. Now, with a private school, they usually get private funding. So, for example, if McDonald's opens up a school, that would be a private school. If Oprah Winfrey opened up a school, that would be a private school. In other words, the private school is privately funded. You follow me? The private school is privately funded. The independent school, which is what we are, we have no overarching funder that will make our school come into existence. It is the community that is building FDMG. So the independent school is a financially independent school.
Well, what your concept that you're doing with your school, what is the concept that's going to separate, that you want to create, that's going to separate you from any other school?
Great question. Well, number one, we'll be the first school in American history for Black boys that's focused on nation building as a priority. Not college prep, not getting a job, not going to the military, but nation building. We exist to teach our boys how to be men, how to be husbands, how to be leaders, how to build hospitals, how to build banks, how to build supermarkets, how to build organizations. We are a psychological liberation academy. And we will be the first of its kind in American history. The philosophy of Marcus Garvey will be taught as a curriculum. The philosophy of Frederick Douglass will be taught as a curriculum. Our core curriculums will be, in addition to science, in addition to math, in addition to civics, in addition to language, we will also be teaching political and military science. Political and military science. They will learn African martial arts. They will study World War I. They will study World War II. They will study the Civil War. They will study the European war that colonized Africa. They will study the Zulu Wars. They will study the Asante Wars. They will study how the European came to take over the world. That's military science, because it was the gun. It was the gun, my sister, that gave the European the military superiority over everyone else. Not his intelligence, but a weapon. And a weapon that was originally invented in Africa, believe it or not. The gun was invented in Africa, but we did not use it for violence. We used it for spiritual ceremony. The European got hold of that technology, took it home to the icebox in Europe, and reinvented it and turned it into the military arsenal that he now controls. To this very day, the European spends more money on military technology than anything else. The biggest item in the budget is guns and bombs, because that is how he took the world. That is how he controls the world. And our children need to understand that. He benefited from a military accident in history, and that's how he took the planet. So they will study that. They will learn that. We will have a Marcus Garvey Jr. gun club. Every boy will have their own gun. They will learn how to shoot that gun. They will learn how to be responsible with that gun. We will have archery. We will have fishing. We will have life skills and survival training in the woods. They will be camping out on a regular basis so they can learn how to live off of Mother Earth. Okay? And then with the political science, they will understand how the world operates today. It is still military, but politics is military without bloodshed. So how is Africa the richest continent, but the people are in the poorest condition? Why was Barack Obama made president if he wasn't going to do anything for black people? Why is Kamala Harris the first black vice president, but yet there's nothing on Joe Biden's agenda for black people? They have to understand the world that they live in. Why is LGBTQ being pushed on every black elementary school student in America? There's a reason for that, and that reason is population control. But we will also have agricultural and agronomical science. They will learn how to dig up the earth. I want every graduate of FDMG to be a walking, talking manifestation of Dr. George Washington Carver. We will also have nutritional science, so they will learn how to eat to live. So every child will be a walking, talking Dr. Psy.D manifestation. We will also have African spirituality. Our school will have a serious, bona fide spiritual component, which will be based off of the Yoruba culture of Nigeria. So they will learn the songs, they will learn the prayers, they will learn the divinities, they will learn ancestral veneration. If a parent isn't comfortable with their child learning traditional African ways and means of interacting with the Most High, they can't come to the school. No child can opt out of any curriculum. They get it all or they get none of it. In addition to that, we will have the science of the black man, woman, and family. We will teach the boys how to be husbands, how to be sons, how to be fathers, how to be uncles, how to lead the community. That will be a curriculum. And of course, there will be economic and financial. The laws of money. They will learn how to invest money. They will learn about the stock market. They will learn about real estate. We will have brothers and sisters who come and teach them about cryptocurrency and so forth and so on. It is a nation building academy. They will learn African language. They will go to Africa as well as that. Every child will have to create their own family tree. That is a project that will begin the moment they set foot in the school until the day they graduate. They will graduate knowing every single ancestor that predated them on this American soil, whether they were Africans who came before Columbus or whether they were Africans who came as a result of Columbus. They will know their family tree inside and out, and they will recite it by heart or they cannot graduate.
That is amazing. And that's almost similar. I have a mentoring program. So I mentor young middle school and high school young girls. And as a part of our curriculum, also, we take a trip to Africa. So we went to West Africa 1 year, and then we went to Morocco, we went to North Africa 2 years ago. So I do think it's important because I was afforded that opportunity to go to Africa at a young age, at the age of 17. And I really think it's important, even now, continuing to educate myself about Africa, about things that are going on that I can take back into my community. So I definitely think it's definitely important to continue the education that you're doing in your school, but also giving the kids the opportunity to go to Africa to see that. Because, of course, what we just see on TV, growing up, that's what we thought Africa was. But, if you haven't went, you don't know that it's rich, that there's kings and queens over there, that you would be honored to be considered African. As some African Americans nowadays, they don't want to put that with African American, or they want to just say that they're Black. They don't even want to associate themselves with being African. And I just think that is a huge problem that we're still facing today. But I want to shift that because the topic a little bit, because I know we talked about children and raising children and getting them the resources that they need to plug them in with their heritage, with economic development, with resources. But of course, Louisville, Kentucky is home of civil unrest. I know that you're familiar about what's been going on with Breonna Taylor. So yes. I know I got a lot of people that have been on the front line, and I personally myself have been there doing some community organizing, working with other organizations. But I can truly tell you that there was no blueprint for us when we were out here, fighting for justice for Breonna Taylor, but not only Breonna Taylor, but for ourselves here in Louisville, Kentucky. And I think one of the things that we were lacking, of course, there was no designated leader, but there were, as of right now, just like me, I'm not somebody who I can sit up and say that I'm know a lot of facts. I know all this information. I know what to do. But I know I had to use my power, my voice to just do that and get leaders such as yourself on a call to be able to not only educate us, but help us heal in that process. Because, we have grown adult men and women who want to help, who want to get out here, who just don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. We've been out here fighting. We've been out here protesting. So can you give us some insight for those who are here in Louisville who still have to continue their fight for justice for Breonna Taylor?
Absolutely, Queen. And you bring up a very important and very sensitive issue in the Black community. And that is, we are suffering from philosophical anarchy. We are suffering from philosophical anarchy. I would even argue that the American African community has more philosophical ideologies than all other communities in America put together. We are so stratified philosophically that it is very difficult for the children, the youth, to figure out which way is actually forward. In other words, you have your religions that tell you don't have to do anything except pray and come to church. Pray and take the Hajj to Mecca. Pray and give your money to whomever. You follow me? So the religious philosophies are confusing Black people because they're telling us we don't have to do no work. Just follow your religious teachings and God will take care of the rest. And of course, the white power structure loves that philosophy because it basically means Black people are going to do nothing about what we're doing to them. So they love Black religion. Black religion has been the greatest cheerleader of white oppression in Black American history. I'm going to say it again. Black religion has been the greatest cheerleader of white oppression in the Black community because they spiritually handcuff us from doing anything physically and politically and economically to change our condition. So that's your religious philosophies. Then you have your Black socialists, You have your Hebrews, you got your Nation of Islam, you got your God in Earth, you got your Nawapians, you got your black nationalists, you have your Pan-African nationalists. So the youth are like, I don't know what to do. Because not only are there so many different philosophies, most of them don't even have anything in common. They don't even overlap. So what do you do when you have all these different roads that you can take? Those of us who are serious don't have to worry about that, because the ones who do the work are automatically going to get the attention of the youth. And the ones who manifest change are the ones that the youth are going to follow. See, even though we have a lot of ideologies, a lot of them don't do anything besides talk and make videos. You understand? They're not building nothing at all. It's all intellectual masturbation. So that's one of the reasons why I don't attack other philosophies. I know Pan-Africanism is the only way. I know Pan-Africanism gave birth to most of those organizations. You understand? But I know that by building the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, by giving them a place under the sun, they're automatically going to come to me because I can show and prove that I am building for a better future for our people. So the way forward is we have to politicize the youth. And if I'm going to politicize the youth, I'm going to politicize them along the lines of Pan-Africanism and Marcus Garveyism.
So what about adults?
My ancestor Frederick Douglass, whose birthday we just celebrated on the 14th of February, 203 now, he said, "It is better to raise strong children than to repair broken men." So this is what I say about the adults. Speaking as a therapist, we can go fishing. Get as many adults as you can. But don't be overzealous in thinking you're going to transform their consciousness. Because one thing I know, being in psychology, the human personality is largely fixed at 5. It ain't likely to change much after 15. It's almost permanent by 25. And at 40 years old, whatever that Negro is at 40, they going to die that. So for me, 75% of my attention is going to go on the babies. And there's another reason for that aside from psychology. More than half of all American Africans are under the age of 30. More than half of all black people in America are under the age of 30. So where should our attention be going? It should be going on the youth and the young adults. If the grown folks want to come, I would love to have them. But I am not going to waste my years on this planet trying to convince Negroes who have already made up their mind that they want to be coons to be otherwise. I'm going to focus on the babies.
All right. I like that. So with that, do you have just any advice? I know you say you're not working with adults, but just any words of wisdom for us here that want to see change. Any pointers, any tips?
Yes, 3 pointers. Number 1, understand that the black liberation struggle is not a utopia. It is not a utopia. Not everybody's coming, and you got to understand that. Some of us go out in these streets and we want to save everybody. Do you realize there's Negroes out here on the CIA payroll, on the FBI payroll, Homeland Security payroll? You got Negroes out here whose entire family were police. Entire family were undercover agents. Entire family worked for the white power structure. So you have to understand that there's black folk here who are too invested in the maintenance of the white power structure. I'll give you an example. Your attorney general of Kentucky, the brother, so-called brother, got a white wife, did almost nothing to bring justice to the Breonna Taylor execution. He's a perfect example of a Negro. I'm not trying to save him. He can't be saved. He has invested too much into being a part of the power structure to come back over to this side. They would have to Bill Cosby that brother before he woke up and smelled the coffee. You understand? So
Yes.
remember, revolutionary organizing is a dangerous job. You go to the wrong Negro saying we need to work together and liberate our people, they're subject to hurt you and harm you. You got to realize white supremacy has performed psychological surgery on the Negro psyche. We are black skins, but we are white minds. You have black folk who are totally loyal to the power structures agenda. And guess what? Their mothers was loyal to the white power structure. Their great-grandmother was loyal to the white power structure. You understand? So
Yes.
you got first-generation coons, right? Like somebody who just got rich. A lot of our rappers and actors, a lot of them are first-generation coons. They're the first one in their family to make good money. You understand? And live the white life. But you got some of us who second-generation coons, third-generation coons, fourth-generation coons. You got some people, their whole family tree sold out the black struggle. The whole family tree sold out the black struggle. So please do not be in a dream world when it comes to recruiting people you can use. You understand? You probably saw the movie Judas and the Black Messiah, right?
I did.
Perfect example. And that was an excellent movie, by the way. Shout out to all the actors. Daniel Kaluuya did an excellent job. Everybody in the movie did an excellent job. But here's the thing. He got recruited into the Black Panther Party of yesterday, which was probably one of the most militarily mature organizations we ever had. It was difficult to get into the Panther organization. They checked you out. They screened you. They researched you. And yet and still, that man, William O'Neill, was able to rise to the level of security chief for the most aspiring Panther of the time, Fred Hampton. You understand? So if he can get into the Panthers, if he can get into the Panthers and become chief of security, just imagine what these Negroes are out here doing to us. So all I'm saying is understand everybody not coming. Number two, be patient with the ones who do come. Not everybody is going to wake up and rise to your level of consciousness just because you need them to be there. Remember, if you run too far ahead of the people you are leading, you will lose them. If you run too far out in front of the people you are leading, you will lose them. It's just like if DR.UMAR said, listen, if you want to join Team Pan-African, which is my organization, you're going to have to start practicing African spirituality right now. I can't do that. Although these brothers and sisters are conscious, they've also been hypnotized by Christianity, hypnotized by Islam, hypnotized by the Roman Catholic Church. They've been hypnotized. I can't expect them to make a switch like that. It's hard enough for me to tell the brothers to only date sisters. It's hard enough for me to tell the sisters to only date brothers, and then you're going to bring ancestors into the conversation? Are you crazy? So you have to move gradually. Because if I went as fast as I wanted to go, I wouldn't have nobody with me because I'm ready for the next level. But our people are on breast milk politically. They're drinking political breast milk. And we have to make sure that they have teeth in their mouth before we start giving them some of this Pan-African protein.
Ooh-wee. 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 Okay, so I know I'm going to give you one question because I don't want to hold you past our hour time frame. But I know that you just basically made a point about black women dating black women. And I know your stance on black women in beauty. And could you just give us a little bit about...
I'm glad you brought that up because I see your hair and I'm looking at your beautiful face. And I'm saying to myself, this sister is absolutely beautiful. If she had a low cut, a baby fro, some twisties, some locks, all that African queen mother DNA would just jump right out of her. And what I find interesting, let me tell you what I find interesting. Black women are so beautiful. It's amazing that y'all don't understand that y'all don't need it. Like I'm looking at your face. I'm looking at your cheekbones, your lips, your nose, your eyes. You don't need that. You don't need that. But because of the hypnosis, it's the social hypnosis that has our black women thinking, I gotta have this to be beautiful. Do you remember when Sanaa Lathan played in that film where she shaved it off? She was already beautiful. But when she took off the European piece, the African beauty shot right on out of her. So I really wish that there would be an African renaissance of black women who decide to give up the European hair altogether, because y'all do not need it. Y'all do not need it. And when y'all give it up, you're already beautiful, but y'all look so much more attractive because you only come into your own where you don't have to imitate anything but yourself. And not only for y'all, but for our girls. Do you know what it would do to the self-esteem of 3-year-old black girls and 5-year-old black girls and 7-year-old black girls if every black woman they know was natural? Do you know what that tells our daughters? That says I don't have to look like nobody else. God knew exactly what he was doing when he made me. And the beauty that I have is a beauty that nobody can understand except the Creator. And I'm going to make a prediction. You're going to be natural in 2 years. You're going to be natural in 2 years.
But listen, Doc, I'm natural, though. I like diversity. Like, I literally, everything that you described, tomorrow I may wake up and decide I may want to, wear my hair. But I just like the convenience of different styles. I like different looks.
I got you.
So believe me, trust and believe, everything up under here, I can wake up Friday. This ain't every day for me. I just got special because
I got you.
Today. But no.
I got you.
No, seriously. I definitely understand everything that you said, and I do advocate for that with my young girls. But I do advocate for being able to be different. You know what I mean? If you can love yourself and wear whatever styles and appreciate whatever you want to wear. But I do embrace my own hair. So I don't want you to think I just walk around with itches all day.
I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that.
You just never know with me, and that's just me. But I do like to tell young girls to be able to embrace and love themselves, but most definitely love their crown.
Yes.
Love their crown.
Yes.
So Dr. Umar, thank you so much for being a part of this. And I just want to say, Louisville, you're not any stranger. They're going to show up and they're going to come out and support you on Wednesday.
And it's been a while.
So what time Wednesday?
Wednesday
at Rooftop Grill?
From 2 p.m. until 8 p.m. at the Rooftop Grill, 414 Oak Street. It is also a special education drop-in clinic. And what that means, if any of your parents have questions, they can come and get answers for free. If they have paperwork, they have an evaluation and they want me to take a look at it. Dr. Umar, what do you think of this? They're saying my son is autistic. Do you agree with this? They're saying he's reading disabled, math disabled, intellectually disabled, speech problems. Any question that any parent in Kentucky has, they can bring that question to the book signing. Whether they buy a book or not is irrelevant. If they need the help, they're going to get it. And let me also let your listeners know that the very next day, on Thursday, I'll be in Cincinnati at the manifestation on McMillan Street, the same thing, from 2 o'clock until 8 o'clock. So it's Louisville, Cincinnati, Wednesday, Thursday, double header from 2 to 8 in both locations. And if anybody wants the flyer, they can text me for it at 215-989-9858. I repeat, 215-989-9858. And let me say this. I'm going to have to come back to Louisville after the book signing because I haven't given you guys a lecture since 2016. That was my last visit. Jam-packed. In fact, every time I've come to Louisville, I've sold out every time. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And I need to also come back and I need to do the 12-hour. I have a 12-hour intensive from 8 in the morning to 8 at night. Black Parent Know Your School Rights Training Boot Camp. We call it a boot camp because it's 12 hours straight. We take breaks, lunch break, but we get back to it. And so Sister Jamila, who's my hostess, we're looking for a location. And I'm giving you this because you might know of a location. But we need a location that can comfortably seat 100 Louisville parents, tables and chairs, classroom style, everybody facing the same direction, socially distanced, from 8 to 8. And the minute we find a place where we can sit 100 parents socially distanced with tables and chairs, we can schedule the 12-hour Black Parent Boot Camp for Louisville as well.
All right. Well, say no more. You know, that's what I do. I'll make it happen for you. I definitely will make it happen for you. So we will be there to see you on Wednesday between 2 to 8. And it's not a lecture, guys. So don't come in thinking that he's lecturing. He's saying he's coming back. Well, he is advocating for parents to come out if they have questions. He will be selling his books. But if you just want some knowledge about, you know, your child getting diagnosed with ADHD or any sort of type of mental illness, he is there for that. Absolutely. So it is going to be COVID friendly. So is it like one in, one out? Or?
Well, what we're going to do is, depending on what the restaurant owner allows in terms of his capacity, what we've been doing around the country, some places we've been doing 10 at a time. Other places we've been doing 20 at a time. It's all based on how many can socially distance inside at the same time. But we also understand that this restaurant has like an outdoor patio type of a thing. So we might be able to do it outside. And if we could do it outside, we don't necessarily have to limit how many people are around at that time. And if people have questions, they want to talk to me, tell me how much they love me or hate me, that's what I'm there for, you know. It's amazing. It's mostly love. I rarely get people come and tell me I don't like it. That's really never happened. It's a lot of love, but this is it's a meet and greet. So they can come and meet and greet, ask me questions, anything they want. But I also want to ask your viewers and your listeners to please donate to the school fund. We're almost to the finish line. But again, we are totally independent. We don't take any funding from non-Africans. So people who want to support the FDMG initiative, please donate on your Cash App at $FDMG School. I repeat, on your Cash App, $FDMG School, or on your PayPal, paypal.me/FDMG Academy. Paypal.me/FDMG Academy. And if they want to mail in the donation, or if they want to join the Loyal Donors Club and make a regular monthly contribution, we have bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond levels. They can do that at DrUmarJohnson.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Umar Johnson, and thank you so much again for being patient. All right, guys, you heard it here first, friends of Nicole. He will be here on Wednesday. Let's show out in numbers to support him in his initiatives and his movement. Thank you so much, and I will see you Wednesday, Dr.
Will
Johnson.
do, Queen. God bless you.
Thank you. God bless.
All right now. Okay, let me see what's popping on Instagram. Instagram, what's good? Tap in. Let me do some tap-ins. Who on Instagram? Let's do some tap-ins. Go. MP Peyton, where you at? Going once. MP Peyton, where you at? Going twice. MP Peyton.
What up, Dr. Umar?
You want a job, Black?
Huh?
You want a job?
Man, I'm on the job, man. I listen to you every day, bro.
I appreciate
I listen to everything that you say and do. You spot on, man.
I appreciate that, brother.
Man, just keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing. For the people. For the people.
I appreciate it.
All right, man. God bless.
God bless you, brother.
All right.
All right now. Okay. So Harvard University doesn't want to give Cornel West his, what do they call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Tenure. Harvard doesn't want to give Cornel West any tenure. So Cornel West should go teach at an HBCU. He should go teach at an HBCU. If Harvard doesn't want to give him tenure, he should go teach at an HBCU. That's how that should go. I want to clarify my comments yesterday regarding the Judas and the Black Messiah movie. Some of you took my comments out of context, so I want to clarify. I had no problem with Brother Daniel playing Fred Hampton. I had no problem with the brother who played 12 Years a Slave. I had no problem with the sisters who played Harriet Tubman or Tupac's mother. My issue is with Hollywood and the film industry, not the actors, but with the industry that appears to be systematically overlooking American African actors to play heroes that their community gave birth to. That's all I was saying. Just like I have a problem with the fact that every time Nelson Mandela has been portrayed on film, they almost never used a South African actor or continental African actor to play Nelson Mandela. Why are you constantly using Africans in the diaspora to play an African hero from the continent when you have so many African actors on the continent? I wanted to misrepresent the intent of my words. Who tapping in? Fly player, fresh fly player. Is this a pimp or something? Who tapping in? Fresh fly player, where you at? 1, 2, cancel. Who wanna tap in? Louisville, I will see you Wednesday. Cincinnati, I will see you Thursday. New Orleans, I will see you March the 15th. Boston, Massachusetts, Black Parent Boot Camp, April the 10th. Boston, Massachusetts, Black Parent Boot Camp, April the 10th. New Haven, Connecticut, Black Parent Boot Camp, May the 27th. New Haven, Connecticut, Black Parent Boot Camp, May the 27th. Excuse me, April the 27th. April. New Haven, Connecticut, April 27th. Excuse me, my God. March. New Haven, Connecticut, Black Parent Boot Camp, March 27th.
What's going on, Dr.UMAR?
How we doing, Black man? Where you at?
I'm in Virginia.
VA. All right, what's good with you, Black man?
Yeah, hey, I thought you was coming here Newport News or something.
I had to postpone it because, you know, they had the winter weather advisory, and they said it was going to be a hailstorm and a snowstorm, and I ain't want to drive 5 hours down there and get into some sort of accident or blockade or whatever the case may be. So I'm still going to be coming back, though. I just got to choose the new dates.
Yeah, I definitely support you, man. Like, I go to bat for you. I be talking junk to a lot of people about you, man. I'm definitely on your side. I believe your message. I believe everything you be saying. Like, it makes perfect sense on what you're trying to do for the kids. You know what I'm saying? Because, see, I'm with my family right now.
Oh, yes, sir. All right.
Right there, yeah.
Beautiful babies. Yes.
That's mother right there. We all looking.
How you doing, sister?
But I just want to tell you, though, definitely the school get up and coming. Definitely got one that'll be there. You know,
yes, for sure. Okay. And for the children who can't physically attend because they don't live in the area, we're still going to have the camps. We still going to be having the camps for the children. So even if, y'all might decide to move to Delaware, who knows? But even if you don't, we will still have camps for the children as well. And then the online virtual learning will come a few years down the road.
Okay. So is there any plans on coming to Virginia to speak or?
Wrenching it, but I will be coming to Virginia to do the Black Parent Boot Camp. I will be coming for the boot camp. It'll probably be in Norfolk.
I'm in Norfolk right now. That's where I'm at right now.
Okay, that's where you at. All right. The boot camp is probably going to be in Norfolk. I'm working with a sister down there. She has a hotel or something, and we're going to see if we can do the boot camp at the hotel.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm definitely be. I'm looking for your information on that. I'll be there in attendance.
Oh man, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that.
All right, brother.
All right, bro. Be safe.
All right, you too.
All right now. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Where the queens at? Where the queens at? I want to go live with a queen. Appreciate the brothers, though. Nah, where the queens at? I need some feminine energy. Where the feminine energy at tonight? Where the feminine energy at? I'm working on Miami. We got to do the Florida boot camp too. All right, I think the Queens is chilling right now. Your V, Madna. Where your V at? I don't know if that's a brother or sister. Your V, where you at? Your V, where you at? Connecting. Your Wi-Fi slow. Where you at? Wi-Fi not working on their side. Inkster, Michigan coming up. Inkster, Michigan. Athene Kong. Where Athene Kong at? I got to see your face in order to conversate with you. Athene Kong hung up. The Georgia training is coming up.